Let us understand the concept of average speed using a very simple example. Let us say that there's a person X and this person X was traveling at a speed of 30 kilometers per hour. Then he increased his speed to 40 kilometers per hour. So कुछ देर के लिए this person was traveling at a speed of 30 kilometers per hour and after that he increased his speed to 40 kilometers per hour. My question is, what will be the average speed of person X? At this point, many students quickly pop up with the answer as 35 kilometers per hour. So basically they consider the two speeds and take the average value of two speeds, which ends up becoming 30 plus 40, 70 by 2, or perhaps 35 kilometers per hour. This is wrong. That's not your average speed. Mathematically, average speed is defined as the total distance traveled over the total time taken. So whatever is the total distance that you are traveling and whatever is the total time that you are taking to travel that distance comes into consideration, and then total distance traveled by total time taken gives us the average speed. In this particular example at hand, you have nothing to deduce the total distance or the total time. Therefore, for person X, you cannot just find the average speed. जब तक हमारे पास क्वेश्चन में इतना डेटा नहीं गिवन जिससे हम टोटल डिस्टेंस या टोटल टाइम को कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं, तो हम वहां पे अपना एवरेज स्पीड नहीं निकाल सकते हैं. As far as average speed is concerned, you need to have both the total distance traveled as well as the total time taken. Consider another example. Let us say that there's some person Y who was traveling at 30 kilometers per hour and he traveled at this speed for 2 hours. After this, he traveled at a speed of 40 kilometers per hour for 3 hours. Now we can calculate the average speed. Why? Because if the person is traveling at 30 kilometers per hour for 2 hours, by multiplying these two, I can calculate the total distance traveled as 60 kilometers when he was traveling at 30 kilometers per hour. If he is traveling at 40 kilometers for 3 hours, by multiplying the two, I can say that the distance traveled is 120 kilometers. तो 30 की स्पीड पे उसने 60 किलोमीटर का डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल किया, 40 की स्पीड पे उसने 120 का डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल किया, तो टोटल डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल्ड हैज नाउ बीन फाउंड आउट एज 180 kilometers. Also, as far as the time taken is to be considered, he was earlier traveling for 2 hours and now he is traveling for 3 hours. So can we say that the total time that he has traveled for is 5 hours? अगर वो 180 kilometers को 5 hours में travel कर रहा है, then average speed can be defined as total distance by total time taken. So total distance traveled was 180 kilometers, total time taken was 5 hours. So my answer ends up becoming 36 kilometers per hour. Hopefully, these two simple examples help us understand the concept of average speed. In order to calculate average speed, you need to have both the total distance traveled as well as the total time taken. Just by taking an average of speeds, it is not average speed. This 35 kilometers per hour is not the average speed. You might call it as the average of speeds, but it is not average speed. Hopefully, we are able to understand the basic definition or the basic funda of average speed. Let us move on to an example now. Ramlal travels half the time at 40 kilometers per hour, a third of the time at 50 kilometers per hour, and the remaining time at 60 kilometers per hour. Calculate his average speed. In this question, I am given three different speeds. So we have a speed of 40 kilometers per hour, we have a speed of 50 kilometers per hour, and we have a speed of 60 kilometers per hour. As per my given question, Ramlal travels half his time at this speed, a third of the time at this speed, and then the remaining time at the speed of 60. A logical thing to do here is to assume the total time as t. Time is something which is not given, so I assume the total time to be t. Now, if I am considering the total time to be t hours, half the time would mean t by 2. A third of time would mean t by 3, and the remaining time would end up becoming t minus t by 2 minus t by 3. However, don't you think we are too complicating the question here? अगर मुझे टाइम की वैल्यू को सपोज करना है and then that supposed value is to be divided with 2 and 3, instead of supposing the value of time as t hours, why don't I suppose the value of time as the LCM of denominators? तो यहाँ पे जो टाइम का वैल्यू t था उसने 2 से भी डिवाइड होना था और 3 से भी डिवाइड होना था. एज अ रिजल्ट जो फ्रैक्शंस बनने थे उन फ्रैक्शंस के डिनोमिनेटर्स में 2 एंड 3 आना था. तो मैंने यहाँ पे डिनोमिनेटर्स का एलसीएम लिया, 2 एंड 3 का एलसीएम लिया, मैंने टोटल टाइम को ही 6 आवर सपोज कर लिया. Now if I suppose the total time as 6 hours, my question simplifies drastically because half of the time now directly means 3 hours. A third of the time now directly leads me to 2 hours. And what is the remaining time? 6 में से 5 घंटे निकल गए, 1 hour is the remaining time. So now my question simply says कि Ramlal is traveling at 40 kilometers per hour for 3 hours, at 50 kilometers per hour for 2 hours, and then 60 kilometers per hour for 1 hour. Let's first of all calculate the total distance. Can I say total distance will be 3 into 40, 120 kilometers, plus 2 into 50, 100 kilometers, and finally 1 into 60, 60 kilometers. So can we say that the total distance traveled is 120 plus 100, 220 plus 60, 280 kilometers. Now 280 kilometers have been traveled in a total of 6 hours. So can we say that average speed, which is defined as the total distance traveled by total time taken, will be nothing but 280 by 6, which is 140 by 3. इसको सॉल्व करने पे what we are going to get is 46.67 kilometers per hour. Hopefully we are able to understand this example. This is a standard question type that you encounter on the concept of average speed. Let's move on to the second example now. Ramlal travels half the distance at 40 kilometers per hour, a third of the distance at 50 kilometers per hour, and the remaining distance at 60 kilometers per hour. Calculate his average speed. In this question we are given the fraction of distances. पिछले क्वेश्चन में हमें fraction of times given थे, so half the time, a third of the time. In this question I am given the fraction of distances. So I work on the logic of the previous question and I assume the total distance to be 6 kilometers. So the first thing that I am doing here is that I am supposing the distance to be 6 kilometers. Now, if the total distance is 6 kilometers, half the distance would simply mean 3 kilometers. A third of the distance would be 2 kilometers and the remaining distance would be 1 kilometer. As per my question, we are traveling half the distance at a speed of 40, a third of the distance at a speed of 50 and the remaining distance at a speed of 60. If we travel 3 kilometers at a speed of 40 kilometers per hour, from here we can calculate the time of the journey as 3 by 40 of an hour. Similarly, we can calculate the time of the journey for a third of the distance as 2 by 50 of an hour. And the time taken to travel the remaining distance will be 1 by 60 of an hour. Adding these three, I can calculate the total time. I already have the total distance as 6 kilometers. Average speed is defined as total distance by total time. So now I can calculate average speed as total distance by total time. So total time ends up becoming 3 by 40 plus 2 by 50 plus 1 by 60. इस एक्सप्रेशन को सिंप्लीफाई करने के लिए सबसे पहले मैं डिनोमिनेटर्स में से 10 कॉमन निकाल लेता हूं. अब जो डिनोमिनेटर्स में से 10 कॉमन निकाला है वो न्यूमरेटर में चला जाएगा. सो कैन आई से दिस एक्सप्रेशन नाउ लुक्स समथिंग लाइक 60 डिवाइडेड बाय 3 by 4 प्लस 2 by 5 प्लस 1 by 6. इसको फर्दर सिंप्लीफाई करने के लिए आई नीड टू कंसिडर 4, 5 and 6. Let's take the LCM of 4, 5 and 6. The LCM of 4, 5 and 6 ends up becoming 60. So now I solve the expression further by taking the LCM of 4, 5 and 6 here. So the LCM of 4, 5 and 6 is 60. So 4 divided by 60 gets me 15. 15 into 3 gets me 45. 60 divided by 5 gets me 12. 12 into 2 gets me 24. And 60 divided by 6 gets me 10. 10 into 1 is 10. इस 60 को न्यूमरेटर में शिफ्ट कर देते हैं. So this is 3600 by 45 plus 24 plus 10, 79. So 3600 by 79 is my final answer. Obviously आप इसको अपने एंड पे सॉल्व कर सकते हैं. It's a tedious calculation but you can solve it. The final answer will end up becoming 45.56 kilometers per hour. Hopefully we are able to follow this question. This is also a standard question type of your average speed. A car is traveling from Mumbai to Pune. It travels 20% of the journey at 40 kilometers per hour, 35% of the journey at 70 kilometers per hour, and the remaining journey at 90 kilometers per hour. What is the average speed of the car for the whole journey? इस क्वेश्चन में मुझे टोटल डिस्टेंस का 20% भी कैलकुलेट करना है, 35% भी कैलकुलेट करना है और रिमेनिंग डिस्टेंस भी निकालना है. Therefore, the most logical thing to do here is to assume the total distance as 100 kilometers. 100 एक ऐसा वैल्यू है जिसका परसेंटेज हम ओरली निकाल सकते हैं. So now I can directly say that 20% of the journey is 20 kilometers. 35% of the journey is 35 kilometers. And the remaining journey, okay, 20 plus 35 is 55. So 100 में से 35 minus कर दीजिए. Remaining journey ends up becoming 45 kilometers. Further, my question says that the car travels this 20 kilometers ka stretch at a speed of 40 kilometers per hour. 35% of the journey is traveled at a speed of 70 kilometers per hour and the remaining journey is traveled at a speed of 90 kilometers per hour. If this is the distance traveled and if this is the speed of traveling that distance, from here can I say that the time taken to cover this distance will be nothing but distance by speed, or perhaps half an hour? In a similar fashion, I can define the time taken to travel 35 kilometers as half an hour, as well as the time taken to travel 45 kilometers as again half an hour. So from here, can I say that the total time taken will be half hour plus half hour plus half hour, or 1.5 hour? Now if 1.5 hour is the total time taken, what was the total distance? The total distance was 100 kilometers. So from here I directly say that my average speed will be defined as the total distance, which is 100 kilometers, by total time, which is 1.5 hours. Now I can write this 1.5 hours as 15 by 10 or perhaps 3 by 2. So average speed ends up becoming 100 divided by 3 by 2. Now I can shift this 2 onto the numerator. So this is 200 by 3 or perhaps 66.67 kilometers per hour. Hopefully we are able to understand this example. The first three examples that we have in your average speed are actually standard question types which you do get frequently on the paper. Next, what we have is the concept of average speed when the distance traveled is same. Let us understand this concept using a simple example. Let us say that there is a person who lives in Delhi and he is traveling from Delhi to Lucknow. Let us say Lucknow is at a distance of 480 kilometers from Delhi. Again, I am just supposing a random number. I am not a geography expert. I do not know what the exact distance is. I am just supposing the distance from Delhi to Lucknow as 480 kilometers. Let us say that he is traveling from Delhi to Lucknow, and when he is going from Delhi to Lucknow, his speed is 40 kilometers per hour. So he travels from Delhi to Lucknow a total distance of 480 kilometers at a speed of 40 kilometers per hour. But the moment he reaches Lucknow, he realizes that he has to go back to Delhi. So he takes a U-turn and rushes back to Delhi at a speed of 60 kilometers per hour. If he was going from Delhi to Lucknow at 40 kilometers per hour and he is coming back from Lucknow to Delhi at 60 kilometers per hour, what will be his average speed? Let us understand this question or this example from the fundamentals of average speed. Average speed is fundamentally defined as the total distance traveled by the total time taken. Now, here can we say जब वो दिल्ली से लखनऊ जा रहा था तो वो 480 किलोमीटर ट्रेवल कर रहा था, लखनऊ से दिल्ली वापस आते हुए उसने वापस 480 किलोमीटर ट्रेवल किए. So can I say that the total distance traveled for this person is 960 kilometers? Obviously, the thing that we are able to observe is that he is traveling the same distance of 480 kilometers twice. So जाते हुए भी उसका distance traveled 480 kilometers था और वापस आते हुए भी उसका distance traveled 480 kilometers है. So he has traveled the same distance of 480 kilometers twice. Nonetheless, the total distance traveled ends up becoming 960 kilometers. Delhi से लखनऊ जाते हुए he was traveling this distance of 480 kilometers at a speed of 40 kilometers per hour. So can I say the time taken to go from Delhi to Lucknow was nothing but 480 by 40 or perhaps 12 hours. So उसको दिल्ली से लखनऊ अगर 480 किलोमीटर का डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल करना है 40 पे तो उसका जो टाइम टेकन होगा वो 12 hours होगा. Similarly, I can define the time taken to travel between Lucknow and Delhi. He has to travel a distance of 480 kilometers at a speed of 60 kilometers per hour so that the time taken to travel from Lucknow to Delhi ends up becoming 8 hours. Now, if while going from Delhi to Lucknow he takes 12 hours and while coming back he takes 8 hours, can I say that the total time taken is 20 hours? If the total distance was 960 and the total time taken is 20 hours, from here can I say that the average speed will be total distance by total time or perhaps 48 kilometers per hour? Hopefully we are able to understand this example. What I really want to do here is that I want to generalize this example to derive a formula for average speed when the distance traveled is same. Let us say that the distance that we have is not 480 any longer, it is supposed as d. So मैंने distance को d suppose कर लिया. Furthermore, जो उसका speed 40 था इसको मैं speed s1 suppose कर रहा हूँ और जो उसका speed 60 था इसको मैं speed s2 suppose कर रहा हूँ. While going from Delhi to Lucknow and then from Lucknow back to Delhi, he would be traveling a distance of d plus d or a total distance of 2d. अगर मैंने दिल्ली और लखनऊ के बीच का डिस्टेंस d सपोज किया है तो d किलोमीटर्स वो दिल्ली से लखनऊ जाएगा और d किलोमीटर्स वो लखनऊ से दिल्ली वापस आएगा, so that the total distance traveled ends up becoming 2d. Now if I have to calculate the time taken, can I say time taken to travel from Delhi to Lucknow will be a distance of d traveled at a speed s1 and the time taken to travel from Lucknow to Delhi will be a distance of d traveled at a speed s2. Total time will be d by s1 plus d by s2, and if the total distance is 2d, from here I can say that the average speed will be total distance by total time. इसको फर्दर सिंप्लीफाई कर लेते हैं. सो न्यूमरेटर में से और डिनोमिनेटर में से d को कैंसिल किया जा सकता है. So d gets cancelled. Now what I have is 2 by 1 upon s1 plus 1 upon s2. s1 और s2 को LCM लिया जा सकता है. So what I have next is 2 divided by s1 s2 and s2 plus s1. Now I can rearrange the terms so that the final formula ends up becoming 2s1 s2 divided by s1 plus s2. This is the formula for the average speed when the distance traveled is same or constant. जब हम दो बार same distance travel कर रहे हैं तो वहां पे हम directly ये formula use करके average speed निकाल सकते हैं. If you observe something interesting here, this formula is actually independent of the distance. That means next time अगर आपके पास कोई ऐसा question आए जहां पे आपका distance same है, you need not even consider the distance, because all you require are the two speeds s1 and s2 and distance being same. You can directly calculate the average speed using the formula 2s1 s2 upon s1 plus s2. Let us try out some examples on this concept here. Rakesh is going from Amritsar to Jalandhar at 30 kilometers per hour. After traveling half of the distance, he increases his speed to 70 kilometers per hour. Calculate his average speed for the journey. इस क्वेश्चन में जो पहली चीज मुझे दी हुई है वो ये है कि राकेश अमृतसर से जलंधर जा रहा है. And then further the question says that after traveling half the journey, he increases his speed to 70 kilometers per hour. In a way, what I am seeing here is a situation where a person is traveling from one fixed point to another, and for half of the journey he is traveling at a speed of 30, and for the remaining half he is traveling at the speed of 70. ऑब्वियसली अगर उसने आधा जर्नी 30 पे ट्रेवल किया और आधा जर्नी 70 पे ट्रेवल किया है, दैट्स अ फैंसी वे ऑफ सेइंग दैट द डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल्ड एट टू डिफरेंट स्पीड्स इज सेम. Now, we have learned in the previous discussion that when the distance traveled becomes same, then we can directly define the average speed using the formula 2s1 s2 divided by s1 plus s2. Now, 30 was s1, 70 was s2. So can I say the average speed will be 2 into 30 into 70 divided by 30 plus 70. Now 30 plus 70 is 100. So the next step becomes 2 into 30 into 70 divided by 100, and I simply cancel out the two zeros. Now 2 3s are 6, 6 7s are 42. So the average speed for the journey ends up becoming 42 kilometers per hour. Hopefully we are able to understand this example. Let's move on to the next example now. At the base of a slope 30 km long, a group of soldiers are moving up the hill at 15 km per hour. A monkey on the top of the hill starts moving down the hill as soon as the soldiers start moving up the hill. The monkey meets the soldiers, collects a banana and rushes back to the hilltop. The monkey deposits the banana at hilltop and rushes down again to collect another banana from the upcoming soldiers. The monkey keeps moving to and fro between the hilltop and the upcoming soldiers, collecting one banana every time until the soldiers reach the hilltop. If the speed of the monkey down the hill is 30 km per hour and up the hill is 20 km per hour, then calculate the total distance traveled by the monkey. The first thing given to me in the question is that we have a hilltop which is a slope of 30 kilometers. So हमारे पास यहाँ पे एक slope है जो 30 kilometers का है. At the base of this hilltop or at the base of this slope, there is a group of soldiers which are moving up the hill at a speed of 15 kilometers per hour. By the way, अगर total distance 30 kilometers है and the soldiers are traveling at a speed of 15 kilometers per hour, can I say they would take 2 hours to travel this distance of 30 kilometers at a speed of 15 kilometers per hour? So from here, the first thing that I've deduced here is that the time of the journey for soldiers is 2 hours. Furthermore, my question says that the monkey starts moving down the hill as soon as the soldiers start moving up the hill, and monkey continues to move to and fro between the hilltop and the upcoming soldiers until the soldiers reach the hilltop. So basically जैसे ही सोल्जर्स हिलटॉप से ऊपर चढ़ना शुरू करते हैं, मंकी ऊपर से नीचे उतरना शुरू कर देता है और वो सोल्जर्स के बीच में और हिलटॉप के बीच में टू एंड फ्रो तब तक मूव करता रहता है जब तक सोल्जर्स हिलटॉप पे नहीं पहुंच जाते. अगर सोल्जर्स को हिल टॉप पे पहुंचने में 2 घंटे लगते हैं तो फ्रॉम हियर कैन आई से दैट द टाइम ट्रेवल्ड बाय मंकी इज आल्सो 2 hours. होपफुली वी आर एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस लॉजिक. जितनी देर तक सोल्जर्स मूव कर रहे थे उतनी देर तक ही मंकी भी मूव कर रहा था. तो अगर सोल्जर्स को टोटल 2 hours लगते हैं बॉटम ऑफ द हिल से टॉप ऑफ द हिल जाने में, तो मंकी भी 2 hours के लिए ही डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल कर रहा है. Furthermore, my question says कि जो मंकी है वो हिल टॉप से जब नीचे उतरता है, so when he is coming down the hill, उसका स्पीड 30 है और जब वो हिल टॉप के ऊपर वापस चढ़ता है तो उसका स्पीड 20 है. Now, let us say जैसे ही मंकी ने नीचे उतरना शुरू किया उसका स्पीड 30 था. इन द मीन टाइम सोल्जर्स ऊपर आ रहे थे. इवेंचुअली उनका एक सर्टन पॉइंट के ऊपर मीटिंग हो गया. सो सोल्जर्स वर कमिंग अप द हिल, द मंकी वाज मूविंग डाउन द हिल एंड इवेंचुअली दीज टू मेट एट सर्टन पॉइंट. इस पॉइंट पे मंकी ने लेट से ऊपर से लेके नीचे तक एक सर्टेन डिस्टेंस डी ट्रेवल किया है। यहाँ पे इसने सोल्जर से मंकी, यहाँ पे इसने सोल्जर से बनाना लिया, मंकी ने सोल्जर से बनाना लिया। अब अगर ये एक सर्टेन डिस्टेंस डी ट्रेवल करके नीचे आया है तो बनाना डिपॉजिट करने के लिए इसको यही डिस्टेंस वापस ट्रेवल करके ऊपर जाना पड़ेगा। सो कैन आई से व्हेन द मंकी collects the banana for the first time, the distance is same. नीचे जाने का और ऊपर आने का डिस्टेंस सेम हो जाता है। Let us say now the monkey has deposited the banana at the hilltop. सेकेंड बनाना लेने के लिए ये वापस नीचे उतरना शुरू करता है। इन द मीनवाइल सोल्जर्स भी ऊपर की तरफ जा रहे हैं। लेट अस से इनका सेकेंड मीटिंग इस पॉइंट पे होता है, जस्ट सम रैंडम पॉइंट। सेकेंड मीटिंग मंकी और सोल्जर्स का इस पॉइंट पे होता है। इस पॉइंट पे भी जितना डिस्टेंस मंकी ने नीचे उतरा होगा उतना ही डिस्टेंस अब मंकी को वापस ऊपर जाना है बनाना डिपॉजिट करने के लिए। सो व्हाट वी ऑब्जर्व हियर इज दैट every time the monkey moves down the hill, collects the banana and goes back up the hill, every time he travels the same distance down the hill and up the hill. Now since he is traveling the same distance down the hill and up the hill, and the speed of monkey moving down the hill is 30 and up the hill is 20, I can say that the average speed of monkey moving down the hill and up the hill will be given by the formula 2s1 s2 upon s1 plus s2. Now this 30 plus 20 gets me 50. So basically what I have here is 2 into 30 into 20 divided by 50. एक जीरो कैंसिल हो जाएगा। Now 2 into 30 is 60, 60 into 2 is 120. So 120 by 5 is the average speed, or perhaps 24 kilometers per hour is the average speed of monkey moving down the hill and up the hill. Now we have already deduced that the monkey was traveling for a total of 2 hours. If the monkey was traveling for a total of 2 hours and its average speed was 24 kilometers per hour, can I say that the total distance traveled by monkey is nothing but 24 into 2, or perhaps 48 kilometers? Hopefully we are able to understand this question. Now this question might seem to be a very daunting, very difficult question, but truth be told, this is a standard question type. Most of the time you get the exact question with some names and some values and some things changed. So it's a standard question type which you should be knowing for your paper. Next we move on to the concept of average speed when the time traveled is same. Let us understand the concept using a simple example. Let us say that there is a person X who is traveling at a speed of 40 kilometers per hour for 2 hours, and then at a speed of 50 kilometers per hour for another 2 hours. ऑब्वियसली जो पहली चीज मुझे यहाँ पे नजर आ रही है वो ये है कि उसका दोनों बार का जो टाइम ट्रेवल्ड है वो सेम है। अगर मुझे यहाँ पे एवरेज स्पीड निकालना है, देन द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट आई शुड बी डूइंग इज दैट आई शुड बी डिफाइनिंग द टोटल डिस्टेंस. आई डिफाइन द टोटल डिस्टेंस एज 40 into 2 plus 50 into 2. Obviously speed into time gets us the distance. So the total distance will be defined as 40 into 2 plus 50 into 2. Next, in order to define the average speed, I also need to define the total time. So can I say the total time under consideration will be 2 plus 2, 4 hours. Also, my average speed is defined as total distance traveled by total time taken. So can I say average speed will be this total distance upon this total time taken? I can solve this expression and get the answer as 45, but the interesting thing to observe here is that I can take this 2 common from the numerator as well as from the denominator. If I take a 2 common from the numerator as well as the denominator, what I'm left with is 40 plus 50 by 2, which is indeed 45 kilometers per hour. What was my 40? My 40 was speed s1. What was my 50? My 50 was speed s2. So from this example, can I generalize and say that if the time traveled is same, then average speed is directly defined as S1 plus S2 by 2. Hopefully, we are able to understand how this formula works. Let's move on to an example on the same concept. Smith is an eccentric man and rides his car in a peculiar manner. He travels at 10 kilometers per hour for the first 5 minutes, at 20 kilometers per hour for the next 5 minutes, at 30 kilometers per hour for the next 5 minutes, and so on. Find his average speed for the first 50 minutes. इस क्वेश्चन में जो पहली चीज मुझे गिवन है वो ये है कि वो 10 किलोमीटर पर आवर की स्पीड के ऊपर 5 मिनट के लिए ट्रेवल करता है, 20 की स्पीड के ऊपर फिर से 5 मिनट के लिए ट्रेवल करता है, एंड 30 की स्पीड के ऊपर फिर से 5 मिनट के लिए ट्रेवल करता है, एंड सो ऑन. सो बेसिकली व्हाट आई एम गिवन हियर इज दैट ही इज ट्रेवलिंग इन एन इंटरवल ऑफ 5 मिनट्स एवरी टाइम. सो वो हर बार 5-5 मिनट के इंटरवल पे मूव कर रहा है. अब अगर हमें टोटल 50 मिनट का एवरेज स्पीड निकालना है, कहना है से पहले 50 मिनट में 5-5 मिनट के 10 इंटरवल्स रहे होंगे. सो बाय दैट लॉजिक कैन आई से अगर पहले इंटरवल में स्पीड 10 थी, दूसरे में 20 थी, तीसरे में 30 थी, तो बाय द 10th इंटरवल हिज स्पीड वुड हैव बीन 100 किलोमीटर्स पर आवर. होपफुली वी आर एबल टू डेवलप दिस लॉजिक. इससे पिछले डिस्कशन में हमने समझा था दैट एवरेज स्पीड इज डिफाइंड एज S1 plus S2 by 2 when the time traveled is same. This formula can be extended for n number of entities. So if I have n speeds, let's say S1 plus S2 plus S3 and so on, then the average speed will be given as S1 plus S2 plus S3 so on up to Sn by n. Obviously this formula will only hold true अगर हम हर स्पीड पे सेम टाइम के लिए ट्रेवल कर रहे हैं. इस गिवन इक्वेशन में या इस गिवन एग्जांपल में हम हर स्पीड पे सेम टाइम के लिए ट्रेवल कर रहे हैं, तो कहने से पहले 50 मिनट का एवरेज स्पीड कैन बी डायरेक्टली कैलकुलेटेड एज S1 प्लस S2 प्लस S3 एंड सो ऑन. Sn इज 100 डिवाइडेड बाय 10 बिकॉज हमारे पास यहाँ पे 5-5 मिनट के 10 इंटरवल्स थे 50 मिनट में. अब इसको सिंप्लीफाई किया जा सकता है. सबसे पहले तो इसमें से मैं एक 10 कॉमन निकाल सकता हूँ. सो इफ आई टेक अ 10 कॉमन आउट, व्हाट आई एम लेफ्ट विद इज 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus so on up till 10 divided by 10. Now this 10 cancels out. So the average speed is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus so on up till 10. Now we all are aware of the formula of summation n. Summation n is defined as n into n plus 1 by 2. So in this case 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus so on up to 10 can be expressed as 10 into 10 plus 1, 11 by 2. Now this is nothing but 55. So my final answer is 55 kilometers per hour. Hopefully we are able to understand this example. With this, we not just end the concept of average speed, but we end with the first lecture of time, speed, distance as well.